right, and I think we're live. If anybody's out there, I can see the chat. Hopefully, I don't know. Tell me if the voice isn't coming through. It seems like whenever I try to add anybody else to this stream, it doesn't work. So I'm going to try doing it solo tonight and see what's going on. In case you're wondering why I'm over here on Mad Dodge's channel, well, let's just say that ever since I got episode 100 of Eldrich Rants copyrighted striked by Disney themselves, I've been having no end of trouble with my streams, including bandwidth. It seems like as soon as I stop trying to use Google Hangouts through my account, I have no problem with bandwidth. So let's see whether or not that's actually true or not, or what's going on. So, hey, if there's anybody out there, how's it going? Nobody? Looks like I'm the only one here. Hey, well, a special thanks to Mad Dodge for letting me stream here for a little bit here, just to see whether or not it's me or whether or not YouTube is indeed coming after me for some reason. I doubt it, but hey, you know, we've got to have some sort of control test to see what's going on here. I'm going to start off with, well, my favorite topic as of late. We're going to be dealing with sci-fi intellectual properties. You're drinking coffee from Hawaii. Congratulations. I hope things in Hawaii are doing well. I hope you can hear me. I hope it doesn't sound like I'm R2-D2 or a robot. So, hey, we're going to start out here with The Independent, which I've been tempted more than once to actually pay them the annual fee just so I can scream at them on in their comment boards, because seriously, this place drives me insane whenever I look at anything they're doing here. Doctor Who is just an example of what's going on. The big three that I think are going down here. Doctor Who, Star Trek, and Star Wars. All in various states of suffering from the virus that is social justice. NPCs have taken over the place. And thank you, Mr. Underwood. I appreciate that you can hear me here. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with what's happening to Doctor Who. We're in season 11. And they hired Jodie Whittaker, who initially I had a lot of sympathy for until she started posting on Twitter and basically called, well, let's be honest here, she called everybody a racist who disagreed with her, and sexist, and, you know, pick an ism, and she called you it. And as soon as they start, you know, attacking the fans, that's the point where I lose all sympathy for the actor in question. Now, I don't know if you've been following Doctor Who, but the last episode's going to be, for this season, will be airing tomorrow, and then they're going to have something in January. But I wanted to talk about how the media is trying to deal with it. And here we have Doctor Who Backlash shows why it's time to bin the phrase politically correct. Yes, that's right. You want me to bin the phrase politically correct because we're using it against you. I'm going to sum up the thing here. Let's just scroll around a little. I think this is pretty telling. Until recently, Doctor Who didn't appeal to me. Daleks, TARDIS, blah, 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 blah. I didn't really watch it, but now that I've seen a female doctor, I'm a Whovian. Really? You've watched like a couple episodes and now you're a Whovian. You know, I would love to get this woman down and actually sit down and say, okay, you've watched at least one season. Tell me about it. Tell me. No, just don't speak in glowing terms. Don't just tell me how amazing it is. I want to hear, what specifically you thought about it. Hell, just tell me what the plots are. I just want you to describe the episodes to me. I have a feeling that's not going to happen here. As she points out, they bring up characters like dyspraxia. I don't even know what that is, but I've never seen a dyspraxia character on television. Well, it'd be nice if they actually used it. See, I believe in the conservation of plot. When I do a lot of writing, and I do, I get hired to do ghostwriting and fix other people's messes, I always try to conserve plot elements. If I include something, it doesn't just want it to serve one use. I want it to serve multiple uses. I want it to come back later. I want it to be a brick joke. I want it to be a reference. I want it to be an allegory. I want it to be something else other than just there. And honestly, Doctor Who just seems to be, I don't know, buzzword bingo lately. They just throw stuff up there. Specifically, I want to talk about, well, the latest episode, which came out, had a god that was a frog. And I just want to say, as a serious and wholehearted member of the Kekistani dysphoria, that I find it incredibly insulting that you would invoke the image of the god Kek. I hope that the BBC burns to the ground and that the ground is salted so nothing ever grows there again. One thing in particular always stood out. Give me a sec. Oh, okay. Well, enjoy your pillow and blanket here. But specifically here, let me highlight it. What does politically correct actually mean? Oh, well, let's see. Where was it that she starts babbling about that? That's somewhere in here. But basically, she says, my God, how can it be bad to call something politically correct? How can something be too correct? Well, I want to point out that if you're calling something then you're not calling it politically correct. Just like social justice is injustice. Social justice is a subset of justice. It isn't justice for everybody. It's only justice for social justice. And if something is politically correct, it's not correct. It's politically correct, a subset of correct. It isn't all of correct. I have no problem with correct as a concept. I have no problem with justice as a concept. But the minute you set it down, you are then diminishing the concept. That is the problem with political correctness. It reduces correctness to political correctness. And that's why you can have too much correctness. But of course, in a play on words, they ignore the political correctness and they move on to saying, how can you not have too much correctness? I mean, honestly, the whole season as a whole has been pretty much a train wreck. The last episode involved painting white males, fathers as monsters who torture their blind children. And of course, they invoke the god of Kek, but it's not really the god of Kek. It's some crazy woman who's an ex-wife, who's an entire universe. I mean, oh dear God. I couldn't even finish the episode. Admittedly, in giving a review on it, I couldn't stomach it. I really couldn't. But that's where I'm getting to. Now, we've got Star Trek over at CBS. They're freaking panicking. They've had multiple meetings on how to try to fix this mess, and they said, I know how we could fix it. We'll make 4 short treks and release them. Well, the last short trek just came out a couple of days ago, and if I try to post anything from it, I'm sure I'd get copy striked again, so I'm just going to describe it for you. In case you're familiar with Star Trek at all, they had this great character. He's this guy who comes from this race of people who were herd animals. They were the prey, and they had the ability to see death. They knew when death was coming. And I'm like, wow, that's a cool power. Your power is to sense death. Amazing. Except that they eventually changed it so he didn't actually have that power. He was just, kind of paranoid. And then they came out with this short trek, which completely destroys their own canon within their own series, as well as says, hey, you know that Prime Directive the Star Trek thing is based on? Screw that. Oh, hey, Rusks. Yes, it's alive. Woohoo. In case you're wondering, basically, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Star Trek, but this character, who I actually kind of liked, he was probably the only highlight of the show. They ruined him. Instead of being from a planet where everybody was prey, but they evolved past that and joined the Federation. No. He's on a planet that's basically stuck in the Amazonian level of technology. They're the Kelpians, and they eat kelp. No, that's not a joke. This is their thing. They're Kelpians who eat kelp. Just shoot me. But at any rate, and these aliens show up every once in a while, and the Kelpians just go, oh, look, the aliens are here to harvest us. Let's go get harvested. And so they run off and they get harvested. Now, if you watch the rest of the show, this guy doesn't want to die, and his people knew death. But this change where they're happy to go, this is some Logan Runs level shit, okay? Where they just go running off to get beamed up into light, and they're like, they even call it a harvest. I mean, it's not like that's got a good connotation. We're here to be harvested. If you went into a classroom and said, hello, children, I'm here to harvest you today. No, you're just going to all get into my van and we're going to go somewhere. But I'm calling it the harvest. Oh, hey, Jacob, how's it going? Yeah, I'm over here. We're going to see what happens, but at any rate. But apparently, I can't even remember his name now. What's his name? Pazuzu. I'm going to call him Pazuzu from now on. Pazuzu of the melted face of the herd people Kelpians. A piece of technology falls off the alien ship. It just happens every once in a while. Shit just falls off these alien ships that come over to the Kelpians' homeworld to beam these people up for food processing. You know. Soylent Green is Kelpians. Anyway. Back, says in an NPC voice. Yes. Are you monitoring? Are you going to blow in this channel too to Disney? Oh, God. And so he messes around with a piece. This is like the equivalent of somebody from the Amazon finding, I don't know. Let's go with like a Pentium computer, falls out of an airplane. He whacks it with a rock a couple of times, and he manages to turn it into an interstellar iPhone. At any rate, from this, they didn't have Mikey Spock show up. They had the old Captain, what's her name, show up, and she said, I had to pull a lot of strings and break a lot of rules to come down here and talk to you because you called us on your interstellar communicator to help us. But you can never come back to your world. You can only come off to the Federation. And this primitive fuck who eats kelp, apparently he's going to join the Federation. He's so smart, in a couple of years, he gets to be a lieutenant. Like, that is one hell of a recruitment program. But, but you can never come home. Your family is, you got to leave them behind. And so he goes, sure, no problem. Fuck those guys. Let's go. Christ. I didn't think it was possible to ruin what was already ruined. But that one character who I kind of liked, who I thought was kind of cool, who was, he was scared all the time. That's why I liked him. He had flaws, unlike everybody else who was perfect or a bubbling idiot. And then they made him into an asshole that turns his back on his own people and says, fuck those people. I don't care. I'm just going to look out for numero. Time to go off into space. Christ. And the last part of my rant, of course, is Star Wars, but the less said about that, the better, because the last time I talked about it for 4 hours, Disney themselves came down and blocked my channel. But hey, I eventually did win my little copyright dispute. So if anybody does want to go back and check out episode 100 channel, go ahead. It's there, and we ranted for a while, and the recording's not so good. But okay. Anyway, this is more than I wanted to talk about on this matter, but otherwise, I cannot wait for these 3 franchises to die. I'm actually looking forward to episode 9 of Star Wars because I plan on actually picketing a theater. I don't know if that's going to do any good, but I think it'd be fun. So if there's anybody out there who wants to picket theaters with me and you're in the central New York area, let me know. Figure something out. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic here. Stop that. Okay. There we go. Hope that'll load. Eventually. Here we go. Australian families living a nightmare as thousands of bats drop dead in their yards due to heat waves. This is why I wish Farty would, because this is exactly the sort of thing I want to talk to him about. Like, thousands of flying fox bats just dropping out of the sky because of the heat, man. I mean, even the deadly blood-sucking creatures that come to harvest your organs are dying in their heat. I mean, my God, Australia's Queensland's region moves over to 40 degrees Celsius. Dear God, it's just, oh no, the poor blood-sucking creatures that come to feed on you. They're dying. That's Australia for you. I love that place. When I plan to die, I want to go down there. I think that's the place I want to get killed. But yeah, I mean, look at those bats. Look at all those bats. They're just plummeting out of the sky because it's too freaking hot. You know it's really hot when flying bats are zipping along and they burst into flames. Australia, we love ya. From a distance. Other continent distance. Anyway, moving on to next. I think this one's a good thing. Elementary school principal leave after banning Santa and candy cane decorations. An elementary school principal was put on leave after trying to enact a controversial new policy on holiday decorations. You know, I'm going to save you the rest of this here, but basically he's complaining about Elf on a Shelf, that sort of thing. Ooh, why is my thing going sideways? And in order to be political correctness, they are trying to take the religion out of the holidays entirely. Now, I could kind of understand that if I wasn't seeing other religions being okayed on so much, you know. And by the way, I'm going to, just so you know, I'm an atheist, but genetically Jew and also genetically Neanderthal. We are the original oppressed people. But that all said there, I don't follow Hanukkah. I follow Katanika, which is a religion where, you know, it's the holiday where pirates attack ninjas. And for 8 days, we had to fight off the pirates until the end there, where there was a sudden cold snap and a bunch of shamrocks got frozen. And we used the shamrocks as shurikens to kill the pirates. So Katanika, that's my holiday. That's the one I learned. I'm trying to get it rolled into the whole Kekistani religion, you know, praise Kek. But we'll see whether or not Katanika could be made a part of the Kekian religion later. But I'm pretty sure this asshole would ban it because he hates Elf on a Shelf, which, by the way, is one of the stupidest things ever. It's a stupid elf you put on a shelf, and every day you got to get up at like 4 a.m. to move it around the house so your kids think it can move on its own. Whoever invented this thing is a sadist, as far as I'm concerned. I have not met a parent who used Elf on a Shelf and didn't bitch about it constantly. So, but that all said here, I think it's good that he got banned. I think that people are getting too hung up on religion. You know, yeah, maybe, you know, I mean, it's just a freaking holiday where people are forced by corporations to buy lots of presents. Come on now. If somebody wants to put a little Jesus in that, go right ahead. You know, you got Jesus in my holiday. You got holiday in my Jesus. Yeah, that sort of thing here. Nope. Let's see. Round 3. Goddamn interest dying. Oh, yeah. No, yeah. Well, I mean, you know, you got to die every once in a while when you're God. You know. By the way, Eldrich God, by the way, people didn't catch on. But yeah, you gotta die every once in a while. That's why its full name is Unthoth Neverborn, the Abyss that Slumbers. You know, I've been slumbering a lot in an abyss. You know, it's good work for an abyss. But, you know, it gets boring after a while. Think about rising up to devour all that lives. And then, you know, and then I just, you know, I was in poker with Artemis and I won control over feminism. So for a while there I was the god of feminism up until, 2016. I thought they were going to help me with the Great Harvest, where I was going to, kill 90% of humans in the Great Culling. And I was only going to, only a select few would survive, and then there would be my minions. But God, when Hillary tripped at the finish like that, I just couldn't stand it anymore, and I just went back to Artemis and said, just take feminism back, just take it back. I can't deal with these fucktards, and it really destroyed my urge to rise up and devour. I know you're like, wouldn't that make you more angry and want to kill? I don't want feminism in my abyss. You know, it's just. That sort of thing, it's infectious, you know. And there isn't enough antibiotics to take care of that kind of shit. So, that all said. By the way, if the audio is going out, let me know. Because I just saw a serious fluctuation in the bandwidth strength there. Moving on to another favorite of mine. Or not, because it's not going through. Hold on a sec here. Where I had to back up. Yellow vests. Here we go. Whoa, the page got dropped. That's why I can't get it. Damn. Okay. Well, that's all I got left. Paris was again the epicenter of clashes of fresh anti-yellow vest protests. I'll tell you what the article was saying. Macron is run away. He bravely ran away, he bravely ran away. No one knows where he is. You know, Paris is burning right now. There are tens of thousands of people wearing these yellow vests and moving into Paris to trash the place. And Macron is like, apparently Macron said, let them drive hybrid electrical vehicles. And they said, okay, Marie Antoinette, let's cut off your head. To be honest here, I don't think it has anything to do with gas. I think gas is just the straw that broke the camel's back. I think we are just seeing that Europe has just finally gotten so pissed off that it's cut loose. And if the people in charge do not back down quickly, I really, truly believe this is going to get super ugly. Super, super ugly. Because the only thing you need right now, the only thing you need is a couple of Islamic terrorists say, hey, let's blow up some of these crowds. Or let's get a truck and drive over some of these people. Because that would basically crank this into a hyperdrive here. It would be like just the most disgusting thing ever. I have no doubt that Europe would explode. All right. I'm trying to give anybody ideas here. Hopefully that isn't going to happen because I'm still hoping that Europe can work through its globalist problems without burning the entire continent to the ground. But it's starting to look a little touch and go there. So, the funny thing is, just as a personal note, every once in a while I like to just bring up topics to people I work with. Nobody even knows there's anything going on in Paris. Nobody. Nobody's even heard of what's going on in Paris. Okay? And I deal with some extremely left-wing nut jobs. Okay, my job is nothing but left-wing nut jobs, to be honest. I'm a moderate, which makes me, the extremist here. But at any rate here, I don't think this is going to end well, especially since I don't know where you guys are, but it's kind of getting covered up by mainstream media. They're not even mentioning this, as far as I can tell. Nobody even knows there's a problem, so I think this is going to end poorly. Here's a good one. Explosive baby gender reveal stunt sparked massive wildfire that took 800 firefighters a week to put out. Yes, that's right. U.S. Border Patrol agent Dennis Dickey, what a dick, decided to reveal the gender of his soon-to-be-born baby to family and friends in an explosive fashion. He never imagined that his stunt would spark a 45,000-acre wildfire, but it did. I'm sorry, but look at that little picture here. I'm going to announce the gender of my baby by exploding a cloud of blue powder. I don't know if you know this, but they banned that blue powder because they used to spray it over crowds in concerts in Europe until one day somebody was smoking and they sprayed the crowd with the powder and it burst into flames like a massive burst fire of just flash flame just went over the crowd. Whoosh! Dozens burned. And I have no doubt that's exactly what happened here. Oh, am I lagging so bad that the voice isn't getting through? Because I got my main rant out of the way, and this might be a good place to wrap things up. We're just getting into some of the more silly stuff here. But if I'm not getting any audio through, we'll wrap it up here. And if you're still hearing me, let me know. But, the lag kicks in and out every once in a while, and I'm not sure if I can maintain this. Oh, there it went to 0 again. Yep, 0 again. Man, it's not coming back. I've got 18,900. Great. Well, if the voice isn't coming through at all, let me know. If it's just buffering a lot and that's the problem, cool. We'll see how this works. But, so the lesson is do not blow up anything in a dry environment full of nothing but kindling. And don't burn down your state. So, fun news there. Okay, loading the next one. Man, woman drive to Arizona, from Arizona to Wyoming with their children in their... Yep, man and woman admit in court they drove from Arizona to Wyoming with 2 children in the trunk of their car. 63-year-old Michael J. Fee and 31-year-old Amber A. Freudenstein, who both deserve to be burned alive, torn in itty-bitty bits, and then buried somewhere. Not necessarily in that order. Wow. Then they only got 30 days in jail for driving 2 children in a trunk through some of the hottest parts of the country ever. But they did it while 2 German Shepherds sat in the back seat. That's the part that I love. It's okay to put a 6-year-old and a 10-year-old in the trunk, but those damn dogs, oh hell no. They need some air so they can breathe properly. Well, it sounds like I've gotten as far as I can. All right, Janice. Well, heads up. I think this is probably a good place to wrap it up. I'm not sure if this is going to work in the long run, but this has been a good experiment, and I want to thank Mad Dodge for letting me take a chance at this and seeing whether or not I could get it to work. We'll talk later and see whether or not this is going to be a regular thing. At any rate, it's been real and it's been fun. It hasn't been real fun because it's been nothing but aggravation this evening trying to get this computer to work. Thanks for your time, and I hope you have a pleasant day.